weapons 1700 rating. The shoulders and the weapons are the only ones that matter, right? I mean, was it like 1550 for the legs, 1650 for the chest? If I remember correctly, something like that, but that never bothered me. And I don't think it bothered many other people because that was almost no rating anyway. I think most people can get to 1650. But anyway, we want to maintain the prestige of earning some nice looking shoulders or titles for those competing for the top spots. But overall, we'd like to make gearing up and participating in PvP more accessible at any entry level, particularly for players who might struggle to reach the high brackets. The overall cost of PvP gear has been lowered slightly. The faction reputation
Topal, Elysium, whatever server you played on, strength of those servers is that they're very mobile. They can make changes on a whim. They could be like, hey, this is bad, boom. Overnight, it's fixed. Middle of the day, boom, it's fixed. There's not this whole like checks and balances and you gotta go through the chain. Should we do this? Should we not do this? Blizzard's a big company. I think that they need to empower the Classic team to just be like, hey, if you see something and it looks bad, change it. And if your change isn't good, change it back, change it to something else, and just boom. I think on a whim, they should be willing to change stuff because that's how people, like, I think they don't operate that way out of fear. However, that's something that is good. People would rather you just try and fix things, and I think that this is something that is very delicate. It should be dynamically looked at. I think this is something that as time goes on, they're like, wait, this is too much, we need to reduce it. Let me know what you guys think about this, because I think this is something that they just need to be on the ball for the entire expansion. Edit mode added as a quality of life option for players' user interfaces. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I can't think of a problem with that. Edit mode's kind of overwhelming. If the first time you see it, you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Whatever. It just allows you to move your stuff around without downloading add-ons for it.
knows him, thinks highly of him. He's the guy to root for. And then they come in, they desperately need defense. They fall in love with Michael Penix after they give Cousins $80, $90 million guaranteed. It's like that's a poorly run operation. Because if they could do it again and they knew they were going to draft Penix at 8, they could have just signed a random quarterback for $5 or $10 million and allocated those funds for Wilkins from Miami. Signed some defensive high-end players because they had a bunch of money to spend. But they were like, fell in love with Cousins, and then their draft process was all out of whack, and then they clearly fell in love with Penix. Where Penix was not some, like, didn't need to sit. This isn't J.J. McCarthy. This is a 24-year-old kid who'd been starting in college forever. Plug-and-play guy. Kyler Murray or Saquon Barkley or Justin Jefferson are allowed to play. But I think one challenge for the NFL, speaking of streaming, is growing the sport. Growing the sport not only domestically, but internationally. In football, and I've heard a lot of people say this, which is clear, like in basketball, even in the pros, I can get 10 pros, and we can have a pickup game in the offseason, even if it's not quite NBA standards. We can get really serious, call fouls, and play the sport. In baseball, as long as I got a pitcher and a batter, I can just do simulated batting practice. In football, shorts and a t-shirt, like, I'm not actually playing football, right? You need a helmet, you need shoulder pads, you usually need referees, coach, you need a lot, right? You can't call your own PIs, that's not the way it works. But flag football's always been an element of, like, it's actually pretty easy to play. We've all kind of done it.
you